Vanita Nair has been looking into the background of Martin Shkreli, and she has more. Vanita, let me just ask you, first of all, because for people who may think this person's name is familiar, it's because he's been in the headlines, not just for the pharmaceutical aspect of things, but also something having to do with a record. To explain all of this to us, it's complicated.
Side story, but he recently spent millions to buy the only existing copy of a Wu-Tang album, even tweeting, I probably won't even listen to this for a little bit. But really the backstory of this guy is fascinating, and it helps you understand how we went from a Wall Street wonder kid to, as the BBC put it, one of the most hated businessmen in America. It starts off, he's born as the son of Albanian and Croatian immigrants, and these are parents who worked as janitors in Brooklyn. He gets enrolled in an elite Manhattan school, on his own chooses to drop out, and by the age of 20, he takes on Wall Street. By 2011 rather, he started his first biotech company. By 2014, they vote him out, and he immediately responds, calling all of the directors inane. And by 2015, he starts Turing Pharmaceuticals, which is the company that really jacked up the price of Daraprim. So it really is an interesting backstory, and I think perhaps one of the things that's hurt him the most is that he's been very vocal and very aggressive, initially saying he would drop the price, then later saying he would not. So it's one of those stories that's been evolving, but it's just interesting to see that pharmaceuticals led him to notoriety, but it was his work trying to get his money out to pay back investors from a totally different company that's led to the arrest.
It really could be the story of the American dream, except it has this twist at the end here. Well, it's not the end of his story, but this sort of twist, but it's a remarkable rise.
It really is, and I think that's really what captured so many people's attention, and just the brashness, the willingness to go out there and say things that were really hard for Americans to hear. And like I said, that's what labeled him the most hated man in America, and had a lot of presidential hopefuls calling for him to do something, to take action and not raise money on this drug, which, keep in mind, it really reverses or helps treat toxoplasmosis, which, if you're a child born with issues, if you're an adult with autoimmune issues, this drug is life-saving.
Yeah, it certainly started a conversation that a lot of people did not have. If you are not one of those people with a rare disease, then you may not be aware of, what pharmaceutical companies can do and how the prices can skyrocket 700% even, right?
Yeah, and he's just 32 years old. Just a fascinating, fascinating story. Vanita Nair, thank you so much for that.